Because we're being joined by James Goodnight. He's the CEO of SAS, the world's biggest closely held software company. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, it's good to be here.
So consolidation is the buzz within tech. I mean, do you see further consolidation beyond this massive merger that was just completed?
Well, I think in tech there are so many new companies that are starting every day with new ideas and new directions that they're going in. So I think there's going to be even larger numbers of companies in the future than there are now.
What do you make, though? Excuse me, to revisit that, you think there are going to be more companies?
More existing companies, but because
you mean more startups?
A lot of startups. Everything about the web, there's new startups every day. So we're having tremendous new growth in the whole tech sector. So the fact that some of the older companies are merging together doesn't really, I don't believe, affect the industry that much.
Really? So do you think that some of those larger companies are going to sort of buy research and development by taking over some of those smaller companies, or do you see the industry as being a lot of smaller firms?
A lot of times when a bigger company buys a smaller company, they tend to stifle the research and development. They stifle the innovation as it gets mixed up in the bureaucracy of the larger company. So I think we're very lucky that the number of new companies that are being formed every day.
So for you, I guess that would beg the question, are there acquisitions for your company ahead, or are you saying no?
Well, no. We do an acquisition about once a year, but it's usually a smaller company, and the only reason we do
But you don't stifle the innovation?
Absolutely not. Well, no, we've learned over the years it's best to leave these companies alone and let them continue to innovate. So I think the last two that we've had an acquisition on, we did not try to integrate them into the company. We just made a lot of our software available for them to use in their products, which actually helped improve their markets.
So you don't really see this merger, Oracle and Sun, or the question of consolidation really changing the way that you conduct your business?
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, we might not be quite as friendly to Sun as we used to be.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Oracle's a competitor.
Right. So you would change the amount of business that you do with them?
Well, maybe slightly, yes.
Well, so tell me, what's next when you look at the product pipeline right now? Just yesterday, I mean, the amount of buzz that Apple can garner with any kind of product that it brings to market is extraordinary. But what kind of delivery of innovation are they bringing?
Well, I'm not sure about the innovation. It just looked like a big iPhone to me.
It just looked like a big iPhone?
I was hoping it would be a tablet PC so it could be used in schools for education, so you could actually take notes and write on it.
Right.
But they didn't go that far. And
but a lot of that technology's been around since the 90s.
It has been. Lenovo has just come out with a marvelous new laptop that's also a tablet. But in our field, we're seeing a huge interest right now in analytics. That's what really pulled us out in the fourth quarter. We had a gain of 2.2% in revenue last year. But analytics are so strong right now. Companies like retail want to use it to do things like markdown optimization. There are some companies
increase efficiency.
Markdown optimization is trying to find a way. You want to put merchandise on sale. It's got to be gone by the end of the season, and the idea is how do you mark it down? When do you mark it down? What do you mark down? And when a store is carrying 200,000 or 300,000 SKUs of different articles, and there's over 1,000 stores in a country, that becomes almost impossible to try to optimize by hand, and you really have to turn to some very high-powered computing.
So analytics, the biggest growth area for you?
Well, that's the main thing we do. But analytics is all the buzz right now. We're hearing it everywhere. Authors are writing books on how companies are using analytics. For example, banks are using analytics for risk computations to make sure that the amount of money that they've got in reserve is sufficient to cover their risks.